Wonderful. Thank you so much. After the first segment, now we dive into the conversation where we are anticipating to get an insight on a relationship. By the way, if it is your first time, or if you're dating, or if you feel like you want to get into the relationship world, all right, this is the conversation for you this morning. Where are you watching us from? And remember, you can also engage in the conversation. I use the hashtag The Morning Drift. Of course, our big conversation coming along is red flags in relationships. What is the kind of relationship that you desire, and what are the signs and warnings that you get as far as your relationship is concerned? Of course, we're talking to young minds this morning, where the conversation now is set to the pace with one of our young minds here. She'll be able to introduce herself in the next few, and of course we have the broader perspective of relationship in the older generation, the millennial. What are they saying about their love or their relationship, and how the environment is as far as red flags is concerned? But first things first, my name is Moses Okich. I am joined in by, please introduce yourself.
I'm Tatiana Romani.
All right, Tatiana, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Have you ever been into a relationship?
Yeah. And okay, it's kind of tricky when you go into a relationship and you're not matured enough. It's burdening to some point, and there's so many challenges that you can't handle as long as I'm concerned and as far as I'm concerned. So when you want to go into a relationship, you have to, get the perspective on what am I taking myself into, and what is expected of me in that relationship. Yeah. All
right. So you, of course, tell us a little bit about your experience, because you've said now you're mature enough to get into a relationship. How's the experience? How did it start? How do even tunajituma haje kukatia hadi, to get into the track here? I love this person now. I wanna have ties with the guy.
Oh, okay. So personally, my experience was a bit not good. So at first, I saw it as an easy thing, but as time went by, it became hectic because we were young at that time, and you could not stand and tell your parents that, oh, geez, I'm dating. Unaweza chapwa in African homes. Unaweza chapwa. So like you have to keep it to yourself, or you find someone who's older and friendly. Unamwongelesha, you tell them, I'm in a relationship and I need this and this. So at some point, long distance relationships don't help a lot. So tulikuwa mbali kidogo, and ilikuwa tricky because I don't get to monitor him, he doesn't get to monitor me, and personally me, I sit with my council is full of boys, so like someone can get the wrong perspective of what I'm doing. So like there's this time tulikutana na yeye, and I had to check the phone, and whatever I found in there was heartbreaking. I was like, okay, so how am I supposed to cope with this? I didn't talk to him. I pretended that I had not seen anything. Then nikifika nyumbani, we were talking, and he asked me, umefika? And I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, why you so down? I told him, it's nothing. Kumbe he had noticed that nilipitia the charts and the screenshots and stuff, so he started explaining, and I was like, okay, there's no need and no point of you explaining things that I've seen, so you just keep it to yourself. And then he called after 2 days because we went mute, like silent treatment. So he called after 2 days, and he was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I think we should end things because we are going nowhere. We're not helping each other. Because you're far, so unaona ni kama you can play with my mind. So let's just end things and go our separate ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story. I believe those that are watching us online wako pia na view yao on that particular story. You said something on being young and you got into a relationship. Connie, at what age are we supposed now to dive into a relationship?
I think, okay, basically, let's not base on the age, but maturity. Because you can be 25 and you're not matured enough to go into a relationship. Unaingia kwa relationship and you're behaving childish and all stuff. So it actually depends on the maturity of the other partner or you, so that you guys can cooperate very well. Because unaweza ingia ukiwa 19 or even 16 and upate that person who's 16 ako matured enough kuliko 25. Yeah, like I had a neighbor, she was 32, but it was tricky, I tell you. She was not like, I used to tell her my IQ is so higher than yours because I have to help you with matters of your marriage, life, and I'm young. Yeah, so it depends with the maturity of the other partner, or both spouses.
So there's an aspect of maturity. How do we even realize that this person is mature? Now we can move along, atutasumbuana hapo mbele.
Okay, according to a movie that I watched, I love movies. So according to this movie, there was a test being conducted. I think it's called not the ELSA test. It's something to do with that name though. So they used to say that you can just test this person on anger issues. You can test this person on if they are honest or something of the sort, because sometimes una provoke mtu ananyamaza anakwambia ulimprovoke or something of the sort. So like before you guys start dating, you have that period ya kujuana. People skip friendship. So that friendship period, unajua this person anakasirika anakaaje, na nikimkosea at the same time, how will he handle or how will she handle the stories that nitaleta, So and that is setting the pace, ladies and gentlemen, on this particular conversation. We are talking about that I got into a relationship that I didn't understand, that this person has anger issues, that this person is behaving this, that this person is addicted to substance use, and so many things that are coming into that particular relationship that we end up realizing after getting into the relationship. Remember, the hashtag is the morning drift. We are just in a few minutes of this particular conversation shaping the mind of the world that is involved in relationship. Unajua, kukatia pay is not easy, and of course getting into a relationship is not that easy. It's not just waking up and saying that I love this guy and I want to get into a relationship. There are steps that are to be followed in ensuring that now that I'm going to this particular environment, that I know the consequences that will come out of this particular relationship. But for what you've mentioned, as far as you getting into a relationship and of course understanding the depth of a relationship, when you realize that there is a sort of anger thing that is cropping into that particular relationship, what are some of the things that you particularly did in ensuring that he lazima stop? Oh, I tried talking. Yeah, so like at first I pretended that I'm the one who's on the wrong side. So I told him, if you ever see me on the wrong side, please don't get agitated so fast. Instead, tell me you've done something wrong. And then at some point it didn't work. So I told him, you have anger issues, and so as to cooperate, we need to know how to control it. So he told me that he learned, but he never. So like one thing people should know, or the youngsters should know, is talking. You just sit down and tell each other, because you're not married, you guys haven't signed a contract. So you can sit down and correct the person and tell them, whatever you're doing, when I do something wrong, you want to get angry as fast as possible, instead of you sitting down and asking yourself, why did I do that? Or why has it happened? Take it on a different level, and don't take it on this level that ninafanya kitu because I want it, or I want to sabotage you guys. Yeah.
Is that the space here, flags?
Okay, maybe you'll be bringing in some hollow holes inaingisha upepo kwa relationship. And then I'm an actress, so we always say that kuna this line that I really love, tunasemanga maji, I don't know how it goes, lakini maji ilipenya that person until ikamfanya genge. Like, so the space yenye unaleta and the anger issues and the problems inaharibu everything that you guys had built. So like in a destroy foundation. Yeah.
How do we define love in a particular relationship, and getting to track, understanding the value of love? Because everything is a matter of feelings, and someone just uses the word I love you, but the aspect of love is not shown in him, is not reflecting it now to you.
Okay, so some people tend to think they love you. That's one thing I learned some other time. Unaweza fanya mtu afikiria na kupenda. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. So like love does not base on on you telling that person every time you call them, I love you at the end of every call. That's not love. That's, to some extent, it's immaturity to me, because you like that person, you don't love that person. You like some characteristics, you know, so those characteristics are the ones keeping you, you know, like, I love this person. Every time you idol, you're like, oh, my person, oh, what is he doing? Oh, sasa unajidanganya that unapenda huyo mtu. But that is not love. That is your mindset. Love depends on how you two mlika chini and agreed that, you know, we have these goals and we want to achieve them together. Love depends on, we sat down and we agreed that when I have this issue, this one is going to chip in for me. You sit down and agree. You even introduce African parents, jamani, let your children be open, because you know some things out here, mtoto anakosa kuambia the parent, ana suffer inside, alafu unapata that person ameingia into depression, na ukimuuliza anakwambia, you know, I loved that person. You didn't love them, it was your mindset. So like, you were overwhelmed with the whole matter and ukaamua kudive in and you were like, nampenda na sitaki aniache. Akikuthreaten tu hivi kidogo, umeingia online, umepost kila mahali that, oh, the love of my life is torturing me, nimewachwa. It doesn't even make sense. Hiyo sasa ni immaturity yenye inakuja na you thinking that you love the other person, but you don't love them. It's just your mindset.
Indeed. At a particular age, you realize that shaping love, shaping the love thing, and of course association is becoming difficult for young lovebirds to you know, develop.
Yeah.
You know, they realize that it was just you know, because my friends are in love or in a relationship, that I also want to join in, that I want to be in that particular space. What should be the take? Yeah, that's the reason as to why I asked about the age, and in particular that I'm 14, but I'm feeling like I really love that person, and I want us to engage. Then there is this some sort of you know, you just want to convince yourself that mapenzi yetu can go even up to marriage.
Okay, it's a false statement. One thing, it starts from crushy. Oh, I have a certain crushy, you know, this crushy. So like, those people, they tend to hide under you know, like, the basis of love. So let's assume there's an ocean and then the person is on top. So like, wewe uko juu yako chini ya maji. I don't know if you get that explanation. So like, anakuja, instead of him showing the real him, anakuja pretend, anakuonyesha that he can, you know, anaficha vitu zingine. So like, unasema crashia nanunulia, and it doesn't even help. Yeah, so like, age matters in maturity, and also kufunguka macho. Yeah.
Nice one. So the entire view of unafunguka macho. This is someone I want to get involved with, that I have affection for. How do we realize that this is the chosen one?
According to me, the chosen one, I don't know how to say it, but it's someone that when I'm bored or when I feel like everything is crumbling down, he'll be there. Besties can also be there. That's one thing we should understand. But that person is also different. He's different in a way, you know, like anakuelewa kuliko mtu mwingine. And that person haogopangi, you know, kuna kitu moja watu wanaogopa is, unasikianga ukitaka kunidate kuja introduction kwetu. People fear that thing. So like, ule mwenye unaambia ukitaka kunidate kuja introduction kwetu, ako radhi hadi aongeleshe your parents, and you're like, okay, are you even serious? Alafu kidogo unapata ameanza kuingiana na your siblings, then amekuja ameingiana na your parents, and he's so open to the extent that ukikosekana mahali, your parents can call that person. Now that, according to me, huyo sando, you know, the right person. But the rest, mtu anakununulia gifts and you want to say that they're the right people, then gifts don't help, because kila mtu anaweza kununulia zawadi. I can also buy you a gift and then you think that I'm the right person, yet I'm not. Yeah.
Kamisa. And of course we're just having that space, yeah, you feeling, of course, this is the right person. But going back to the African style, where there are families that accommodate you being in a relationship now, you love someone and they really accommodate that. But the other families that nikikupat, you know, they want you to achieve some few things. Do you think also love at this particular age influences growth and development as far as career choices are concerned?
No, it doesn't. You cannot balance. When I was growing up, and I'm still growing up, I was told that you cannot balance two things. You can't serve two masters at the same time. So you can't serve your studies and love life at the same time. You have to choose one, and that means dropping the love life, because at some point unachanganyikiwa na mapenzi sana until you fail whatever you were supposed to achieve. And then your parents wanakuja, sasa hapo ndo unapata mzazi anakwambia nilikwambia huyo kijana, and you cannot back off, because huyo kijana ndo alikufanya ukaanguka, or that lady. Maybe I can give an example. There was this student in a school in Yerim. So this guy, I failed several exams, and when he was asked, he was like, I love this chick, but she doesn't love me back. Anaenda tu ananionyesha vinye anaweza kaa na watu wengine in front of me, so like the guy used to fail exams, and it's almost KCSE. You imagine how he couldn't balance, na alikuwa anashinda amesema me can balance between my love life and my studies, my relationship life, but it's so hard. You can't serve two masters at the same time. You have to drop one, and that's love. Unawachana tu nayo, haikimbii, iko tu hapo, kimaliza masomo unaipata, and that's the right time, by the way.
When it comes to packaging, later on you realize that people now never knew that they will have signs, the red flags. And this now brings the view, being too overprotective over the children. You don't want them to engage now in love or relationship, that they end up now probably in high school. Now they go to university, they get spoiled, and they know these things now. They want to,
they're curious.
Yeah, they're curious. How is this done? How do people get loved? How does feeling come along? So they end up messing up, rather than we say experience is the best teacher. Starting from a younger age, now coming to development, to understand that now this is a serious thing, this is a serious matter, and I'm getting into a relationship. Do you think being overprotective as parents also affects in the line of relationships? It
does, really bad actually. Parents should be the first people that you're supposed to be feeling free to talk to them. But to some point, when you want to talk to them about something, you sit down, unajita mkutano, and you say, nikiongea kuhusu hiki kitu, watanikemea. So like, let's say, based on Kenyan parents mostly, let's leave the African. So like, Kenyan parents sometimes, unapata ameambia mtoto wake, nikikupata umetekwa nje na huyo kijana, nitakutandika, na unatembeanga na nani sana, na kuona mahali unaelekea siku zuri. It's something bad. Instead, kalisha mtoto wako chini, mwambie, whatever you want to go into is something difficult and different, and as far as life is concerned, you can mess up. You're 15 and you can get pregnant. Really? So like, instead of kuzuia huyo mtu, ukimzuia akiingia high school, hautamfunga, atakuwa anaenda funkies and stuff, na atapatana na watu huko. Then umemnunulia simu saying that you're protecting this girl or boy, alafu anaanza kuongelesha watu behind your back, then anaingia university and anataka experience, like nilikuwa nakaziwa naambiwa, I don't want you to work with that guy. Sana I want to work with this guy and see what happens after I work with him. So like, being overprotective doesn't help. Parents just have to know how to sit down their children and tell them 1, 2, 3 is wrong. Just do this and it will result to this. But if you go this way, then you'll be responsible for the actions that you would have, taken.
Because also a parent knows that mtoto wangu hana ubaya, is a very disciplined girl, even not away from me, but she's still disciplined. Later on, you realize that there's something that happened, and she's now pregnant. So you wonder what happened to that particular situation.
And you can't even talk, like, ukishapata mtoto wako, she's pregnant, you cannot tell them go abort.
Really?
Because you're the one at first, you're the first person she'll blame. She'll be, or the guy will be like, my mom never told me that when I do this, this happens. Really? Me just went in out of curiosity to do that. And parents should just, learn how to embrace their kids. Because nilikuwa nashinda nimemwona mwalimu, hakuna mtoto alituma barua akaambiwa azaliwe. So huyo mzazi mwenye alikuzaa anafaa kuelewe better than anyone else. We always say that our parents must be our best friends, but to some extent unapata mzazi anakuambia nikikupata nitakumaliza, na imagine akikupata anakuchapa ile proper serious kichapo ya mbele ya watu. Anakuvuruta, anakuweka makofi, anashika plus mwenye ulikuwa na yeye hataki kujua, anawachapa nyinyi wote. Instead anafaa awachukue nyinyi wote, awapeleke, awaambie now tell me mlikuwa mnafanya nini, like nini mbaya, and how do you want me to help you. Just be free. Yeah, being free helps a lot.
Kabisa. So what should parents do in such situations that mimi siwezi muacha, that I'm just in love? Even you realize that some kids tend to run away from home, that I want the space, that this person is giving me love that I'm not given at home, that I need just that space, that particular space, so that I share the love, I share the affection, and understand that I'm in a relationship.
You know, what results to that ni ile pressure inatoka kwa mzazi. Like mzazi anakuambia I want you to do this, I want you to do this, then at some point ukifanya makosa they are always on your neck. So huyu mtu ana feel like I think I'm supposed to drift and go somewhere that I'm loved. So the mindset right that at that time inamwambia that your boyfriend loves you so much than your parents, and failing them really bad. Like hakuna venye that person will love you. That person is after something, after all. They're after something, and it's a common thing. So like anataka ajionyeshe vile they're affectionate, and they can, you know, take you in when you're down and talk to you and comfort you instead of your parents. So like parents should just know how to, you know, tell your kids apana unapenda huyo mtu, yes, sikatai, but sit down and think about your life. You won't get married to that person at the end of the day. Huyo mtu akitoka hapa saizi aende another place, atapata mtu mwingine, and they'll engage in something different, and then utakuja tu kupatiwa wedding invitation card, you know. So like kaa chini, think about your life first before you put someone else. The parents should tell them before uweke mtu mwingine priority, think about yourself. Jipende, penda career yako, na upende, you know, your mindset. Like jiambie I want to do this, but I know huyo mtu sitamaliza na yeye this journey. Your mindset inakwanga ati, you know, when I get married to you, it's just a fantasy. It never happens in most cases. It never, because mtu ana relocate anaenda another place, then unakuja na mtu, you know, nani got married, alafu unabaki hapo umemeza, umekoroga your things, umekunywa, then you know we have to mourn you because ulikataa kusikiza advice. So the parents should tell them just put yourself first before that person, alafu uone do they think of you. Pia anaweza, you know, lies work, and we love lies that more than the truth. So like mtu anakuambia nitakuoa na wewe unacheka, instead of sitting down and asking yourself atanioa kweli, should I fulfill my dreams before niendelee kumfikiria. That's the thing that parents should be encouraging in their kids.
All right. We have just a few minutes to take a break and, of course, sip a cup of coffee. Remember, we are just building a foundation on red flags. Even as we talk about that, there is a point on dating that I've dated for a longer time, but I've never found a perfect match into now getting into a relationship. I think we'll have that conversation even as you build for us. What is the essence of dating?
Essence of dating, I can say that it's to build the, you know, the mindset that you can handle things bigger than your age, like responsibility. So like ukiingia kwa relationship, that's dating. So you're supposed to know that I can handle things the way they come. I can handle things differently.
Right.
I've matured. Yeah, that's the essence of dating.
How long is it, the span of dating?
Okay,
probably.
So people date up to I don't know how many years.
I used to date for 3 years. You know,
people date. I would hear people up to 7.
Eesh.
Yeah, and they never get married.
All right.
That's the worst thing.
They never get married to someone that sacrificed a dating space almost 9 years, a decade. All right. Now, there's some people commenting right here on Facebook. That is Felix Champion Boy saying, is it how old is you, or how old is the girl you're talking about? You'll tell us more. She she had a lot of guy friends. That's a big red flag. Akiwa na watu wengi, you know, and of course you want to take the space you're dating. Do you accommodate that?
Okay, personally, I actually advocate for that. Because okay, most people think that when you have these guy friends, you're a cheat, you're a slut or something of the sort. It's not. When it's just the vibe enye ukupata kwa wasichana ndo umetafuta kwa vijana. And unaweza kuwa ulilelewa the one girl among boys, so like the way you grew up, you grew in a company of boys, so like unakuja unaangalia wasichana to some point they piss me off and these guys are friendly, so let me go with them. But when you date unaambia to your guy, by the way, one thing with me, I just befriend boys, alafu unamintroduce. Don't fear ati akipiga simu you're like unashika unamwambia hello, niko hapa, just be open and tell your friends I'm dating this person, you can meet him and wajuane, ndio isikae kama you guys are hiding something that you're not hiding.
So you have your real man, but you have one of the guy friends that you have wants to chip in. Will you leave the older one and go to one of the friends?
I wouldn't.
How is it? Because Champion Boy is asking, we can be friends then we date.
Okay, so I met someone who told me that dating after friendship is really hard for him, and that's the worst thing I've ever experienced. Why do you skip the friendship part? Why? Like, you have to know my side. When I get angry, how do I look like? When I understand things, when I'm so down, how do I sound? So you have to be my friend so as to get to know me. Because once watu wameingia kwa relationship, hakunanga topic ya kuongea. Let me just tell you. Hakunanga topic. Mnaingianga online, you're like, hi, how was your day? Good. And even though good night, story meisha.
Wow.
But when you have that friend, you're open. Na anakujua. Then kama if you have no one, then you're okay to date that person.
Wow.
But if you have someone, don't cheat. Just stay loyal. It won't hurt.
Oh.
Yeah.
It won't hurt.
It won't hurt.
All right. That's a very nice advice for to come assist you, of course, understanding the value of love, the value of feelings, and getting into a relationship. And even as we set pace now to the big now, the red flags in a relationship, we've understood that there must be at least an attachment, a feeling, and therefore we come now to the accommodation of love. And remember, when we are friends, we build a greater love now when we get into the relationship and now understand that this is what we have, this is our child that we are carrying. Now we have Ronald Lalmet says that, hey, well, that's so much wisdom you've really tried, and of course empowering the young minds out there that wamepigwa heartbreak and they they don't understand how to get back. There is a priority of love. No. All right, so we have says that great conversation. Thank you so much, Joe Kinywa, as well as Felix Sempembayo, and of course we have Mpo journalist, of course saying following you live pamoja hadi tamati from Narok County. Thank you so much. I believe that now sets us to the pace. Remember, the big conversation is red flags in a relationship. You get into a relationship, of course you've been dating for quite some time, and you realize that this is not the perfect match, this is not what I had opted for, and I feel like I want to change the environment a little bit, and that is where we end up now clashing, we end up now divorcing, we end up now kukosana hivi sindio. We are also having an understanding that the young minds sasa hivi wanakosana sana, and there's so much fight into understanding at what specific age am I mature enough now to get into a relationship. We were told, I was watching something that says that women wakifika 25 years they're not eligible at least first kuingia into a relationship, but they're now women. They're not in the space ya kumalinga around with dating stuffs. And of course men at least about 27 at least mature enough now to get into dating. So is maturity also a sense of red flags in a relationship? Realize that you get into a relationship and this person is very young. You cannot lean up, you cannot understand each other, you cannot even collaborate in one way or the other, and therefore dependency becomes a problem. You realize also communication becomes a problem in that particular relationship. What should a man do? What should a girl do as far as the relationship is concerned? Send in your feedbacks, your comments as far as the red flags in your relationship. Maybe you're married or you're a younger couple. Cheza kama wewe right here on The Morning Drift. Keep the hashtag The Morning Drift and the conversation continues. Let us take a short break. We'll be right back after this particular break. Thank you so much.
Save Save Alive is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner. How do you start your engine when it is time to drive? Are you a first-time car buyer or want to upgrade your wheels? Do you know your car brand? Is it powerful, stylish, or does it turn heads as you drive past? Well, let's get to know all about wheels on the Daily Drive Show with Ian Otieno as we review all automobiles inclusively, specs on powertrain, interior, exterior, and pricing. Get on board with Ian Otieno for a dose of automobile scene on Lookuptv.
Gen Z vibes, Gen Z vibe, Gen Z vibes. Hello good people, you're right in time for the best show in the Eastern Central of Africa. The show is Gen Z Vibes.
They call me
Jimmy Season,
King Edwin, Big Bodeno.
From this part of the Sahara, they call me Nairobian influencer. Enyewe medress kama Gen Z,
yeah? Lazima tuwakilishe
generation.
Mimi nitakuja na nguo nataka na mta ni blame juu amku niambia.
Unaweza vaa anything but traditional or anything but you look good.
You look presentable.
So unavaa like clothes which exposes your body more, ndio unasema you are more fashionable. No, that is not the meaning of fashion.
Every single Saturday from 10 in the AM.
Yeah, welcome back. I do not know your view on relationship. Of course, we've had just a foundation on the aspects of relationships, being engaged in love and sharing the feeling, the affection. But what comes out of it is, now understanding that kwa sababu sijazoea, now there are things that I have not really understood about this particular relationship. Should I quit? What should I do? That is a conversation that, you realize that someone was engaged in dating, but they've never spent a moment with their partner. Now, there are some things that happens in that particular relationship, and they feel like, what? This is becoming different thing than what I had anticipated for, what I expected. Now the sense of communication, the sense that you didn't understand that your partner is addicted to some few things, your husband, of course, or your partner is not into physical, but is into the visual aspect, watching things online. Now you realize that there's some things that you had opted for, but they're not in hand. What is your opinion on this. This is the red flag communication and conversation on relationship. I'm joined in by Tatiana, who is shaping for us the entire view on relationship. But what is the red flag? How do we identify them? How do we identify red flags in relationship? And what is red flag for that matter?
According to me, red flags are the issues that, you know, come up in between the relationship and they act as an obstacle to whatever you guys had opted to do in the future. So it's not easy to identify red flags for some people, and for some it is. So let's start with those that are in relationships. So like when you're in relationships right now, red flags are easy to identify because, you know, you've had the time to know and learn the other partner and get to know what they do and what they don't do. So let's assume that you've wronged this person in one way or another, and kitambo alikuwa anakwambia tu unajua umenikosea, then you guys solve the issue. But nowadays when you do something wrong, that guy goes mute, like anakupatia silent treatment. So that's one issue you're supposed to, you know, sit down and ask yourself, so why is he doing this? Most people they tend to get into marriage when they're so young, like let's say 19, 20. They don't know. So when they bear a child, unapata sasa the lady or the guy so someone better. So like ananza madharau kidogo kidogo. You talk, they talk back. You know, you tell them suangalia mtoto, they tell you sini wako. You know, some issues anakujibu tu vile moyo yake inataka. Then you guys, you're like kitambo you used to go out for family dates and talk, but sasa hizi this person, when you bring up such issues, anakwambia I love my life when it's private. You know, and you're a partner and you're like, okay, we have a child, number one. Number two, you're telling me your life is private. The whole time it wasn't. You are this public figure that, you know, people used to date that I'm dating Flani or Flani, you know. But sasa saizi umekuja, you're telling me that your life is private. That's a red flag. They've seen someone better than you. And as far as I'm concerned, they live without telling you. Wanatoka tu, they just go. You know, and it's not matured in some way. You're leaving your kid behind. You're going for someone better. Mwenye ata atakuoa, you're just going to waste your time again, not thinking that I'm someone's mother somewhere. Yeah.
In a span of how long does it take to notice that now these are signs that are showing me indeed that I am in a position where, of course, the signs are a sense of warning that this particular moment is now a time to escape?
Like let's say you guys have dated for 2 years or something of the sort. Then after your anniversary, let's start from there. So after your anniversary, this person changes completely. So like you wanted to do this and you used to do it together, but all the time they're on the phone. You don't know who they're talking to. Now that's one issue that in Aribu marriages out here. You see the other spouse, and instead of you being open and saying, I'm talking to mtu fulani and I'm doing this, you want to keep it a secret. Then you find out that the other spouse anasema tu, mbono unaenda against me, and you know, you're going against the code of marriage and unaenda na mtu mwingine. It happens, like some people take a little time, let's say 1 week or 2, to identify the changes, and others go to the extent of provoking you, so as to know what you'll behave like and how will your feedback be like. And then they tell you, and then you're like, why did you provoke me? And they're like, I was just checking on something, you know. They're just confirming. And for others it will take months. Sasa we were months ndio atakuja kulia, because you know they're always like, you kept me here, you didn't tell me anything, but you saw the red flags and you didn't even move. I was on my phone all the time. I didn't concentrate on you again that like I used to, you know. So how do you expect me to keep on telling you that akufukuza ya kwambi toka? Yeah, so ananyamaza tu, anangoja ujione, ujiambie, hey, I'm not needed here, so my time to stay here imeisha. So let me leave and, you know, give space to another person. But no one has the courage to tell you to walk out of my life, you know. It's not the time, it's my mistake that I don't want to be with you or something of the sort. It takes different people different times to identify that hii red flag kitu ilikuwa inaenda hivi but saizi ime-tilt kidogo, inaenda venye sivyo, inaenda mrama, and there's something ahead yenye inakuja na si mzuri. Yeah, so like maybe you've provoked the other partner, umeenda nje kutembea with your friends and you didn't inform them.
Right.
So like sazile unarudi, this partner is like, umetoka kufanya nini? You know, anakuwa mkali, anakuuliza umetoka kufanya nini? Nilikwambia nini? Usipochunga nitakumaliza. And you guys are together. So you're like, okay, nisipochunga utanimaliza. That's a threat to my life. That's one big red flag that people avoid. They're always like, alisema tu atanimaliza, but I knew he was joking because he was angry. You know, he was just saying for the sake of saying. So like, unafaa ukae chini ujiulize, amesema atanimaliza. What will he do? What is he capable of doing? You know? Ama unatoka tu nje, you know, relationships, we don't sign contracts. We don't have certificates for relationships, but people never get it. You want that person, ati ukikosea anakuchapa. Ati umetoka kutembea nje, then when you come back anakuuliza ulikuwa unafanya nini? I saw you flani, mlikuwa mnaongea nini? I don't love you ukiwa na hao watu, you know. And to the extent anaweza kugonga. But you're in a relationship, you're not married, so that means you can walk out, but you want to stay there. That results to toxic marriages. So like you guys end up in a marriage enye kila siku utakuwa unalia tu. Utakuwa unalia because utakuwa unachapwa, because you allowed that guy to see that you're weak in some way.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Even as we get deeper to this conversation, you remember the guy is good, your partner is very nice, but there now comes you now coming into their lives, where we are now introducing their parents or their family. But now their family design, the design that they are shaped, or the design that they are speaking, the design that they are welcoming you, is also another warning that you're not needed here. We don't like you, you know. But your partner is very positive. You just okay. Is it also a matter to consider when it comes now to a family, the relationship within the family, and you becoming a red flag in that particular relationship? Yeah,
it is. It actually matters. It's one of the major points, because you can't go to a family that the mother-in-law doesn't love you. You'll always be there, and then when the son gets sick, the mother-in-law is like, nilikwambia huyo msichana, sikuwa namuona vizuri, you know. The sisters wakikuja kutembelea their brother, they behave in a different way. Like, you know, you've set your place, you're so cool, but the way they treat you is not even welcoming. And you have to take the step and tell your person that okay, I know you love me and I love you too, but one thing we can't do, we can't move without the blessings of your parents. Most people forget that. So like they tend to go to come we stay marriages, and hizo ndo zenye zinaharibika huko nje, you know. Like kila mtu sana anaishi maisha yake. But one thing, unafaa ujue, I'm welcomed in this family. Do they love me? How will they treat me if their son lives right now and goes somewhere else? Let's not say death per se, but maybe he travels to somewhere else. Will the family still take care of me as the wife to the son, you know? Unamwambia tu, you know, I love you, right? And you love me. So, but we can't move on without your parents' blessings, because to some extent aileti shangwe, tutakuwa tunapigana. Unajua mzazi sipokubariki kuna kuanga na issues mingi
sana.
So like unamwambia tu, just be open and tell that person, I don't know how we'll do this. If you have the guts, we can talk to your parents, you know, your family, and you just say, this is the person I love. And sitaki kukat ties because you're my family, but can you treat her as one of me, because she will be as soon as I marry her, you know. Yeah, so like you guys have to come in terms and, you know, agree on what to do, because mkiendelea tuna kiburi, things happen.
Are we able to identify red flags before even we get to the aspect of marriage?
Yeah, people
you notice these things before even you say that now let's move forward with love.
Like I've met several people, they tell me at when my siblings love you, then we'll be good to date. You know, that's a red flag. And then you go there, you're pretending, oh, hey children, how you doing, you know? And they're like, okay, atupendi huyo msichana because anafanyanga 1, 2, 3. Then they treat you in a different manner. Umeenda ukiwa hyped, but the moment utafika huko, unafanyishwa kazi. unaambiwa si wewe ndio unataka kuwa daughter in law, hebu tuoshe hizo vyombo, alafu kuna nguo huko uende ufue. And you're like, okay, so this means that nikiingia kwa marriage with this person, I'll be suffering indirectly because hawatakwambia akiwa hapo, watakwambia kama ametoka. So you have to, you know, sit down and say, and nikiingia kwa marriage, if I just attempt and make the wrong turn to get into marriage with this person, then I'll suffer. Because sasa ni kama this is nini treatment I'm getting kabla sijaingia, then what will happen nikiingia, you know? Yeah,
there are so many aspects that are being discussed as far as red flags. Of course, in the past few, that is in 2023, 2024, 2023, 2022, we've experienced so many cases on gender-based violence, domestic violences, and I believe it's just the ignorance that came across, that people think that it is in the line of love and in the line of affection, that this one is just handling these things and nimemzoea, you know. And I want to show him that sisi tutakufa pamoja, we are in this together, no matter what you do. Then you end up dying fast. The guy now decides to use weapons to at least kukumaliza. Then do you think this is some of the reasons that zinachangia gender-based violence and domestic violence in the society?
Yeah, they do. Because uliona this person before you guys got into marriage. So like you saw this person can stand and hit me because I've done something wrong, you know. So when you take that attempt, sasa unajiambianga ata change, nimemzoea atabadilika, you know. But that person, that's the behavior and it's in the blood. Haiwezi toka, you know. Some things huwezi toa. You can bring a village boy from the village, but you cannot bring the villageness out of him. Utampatia tu, you know, the clothes and everything, but utatoa the thing that alilelewa nayo. So like people don't change that fast as far as I'm concerned. So when you wrong this person, anger akona hasira ingine mbaya. So like his anger issues are difficult to deal with. Then instead of you guys sitting down and solving the issue, he instead takes the knife and, you know, stabs you or something of the sort. Like I had a certain friend, this girl is young, she's really young actually. So a guy approached her and she was like, I don't want to date you because I'm not ready and stuff. But the guy was like, okay, I can give you reasons as to why I want to date you, you know. The guy had married a certain lady and she was pregnant, but this chick didn't know. So when she refused, you know, to engage with this guy, the guy took the knife and stabbed himself on the knee to show just how angry he could be. So I had to stand up and tell that girl, huyo mtu akisimama hapa tena next time, just call me. Niambia amesimama hapa tena. I'll just show you what we'll do with him. Because ataendelea hivyo and he'll harm you to some extent. You know, ataenda hire some people to come and finish you. Nowadays, mtu amalizwe na, you know, the spouse. The spouse pays the other parties to come and finish you indirectly. Then your family mourns and the spouse is so okay and he moves on as fast as nothing happened. Yeah.
Red flags are often used in conversations around toxic and abusive relationships, as well as in a guy or a girl can be a sign of narcissism, aggression, victimization, or even abusive relationship or abusive behavior. By becoming aware of some common red flags, you can avoid getting involved in a toxic relationship. Mind you, in the fact that you are a girl or a lady in a relationship, or you're in marriage, and of course you've witnessed and you've seen these signs that your husband is not doing good, is not okay, you know, ni kama ile bangi anayavuta it's affecting him. You know? So you start calling your parents that I want to get out of here now when it is time, before a bad thing happens. So what's the first response when you notice these signs that are coming on board? What is the first response that you should do? Is it to escape or keep on battling, you know? Tutawezana tu.
Battling doesn't help, because battling at the end, it will take you somewhere that you didn't even think it will, you know, like you didn't expect nitafika mahali fulani because I was defending this person. Ati just because I love you, I'll fight for you. Till death do us part. Yes, it does exist and it was written in the Bible. But kuna some things tunajaribu Mungu, you know. You see this person is, you know, really toxic and you cannot stand. Anakwambia lazima ufanye. Kwanza that person wa lazima ufanye, lazima uende. You should really avoid them. Like ulikuwa na time ya kudate this person and know the difference, but you went ahead ukasema tutavumiliana tu and we are together in this. Even if my parents object, or your parents or your friends, we are still together. hiyo ni kudanganyana. You guys are not helping each other. You're just there, you know, to kupeana comfort, like mnafariji mwingine unamwambia you know, these people don't want to see us together, but we can be good together. Lakini this person is toxic na hakuonyeshi, then anaanza kuonyesha signs, anaenda anakunywa kidogo na marafiki, anakuja kwa nyumba vita tu, anakurusha na pan kila kitu, and you had the time to,
there is an inability to resolve issues. When you bring a point on table, na I'm your partner, we can't even resolve because my anger point is at par. You know, we cannot even collaborate and say that let's come now to an agreement. I think that is also part of a red flag that should be taken seriously. Because everything is just a common sense of understanding.
Like let me use this word, anger won't help. Egocentric. We both have the ego, so we always say mimi kiburi yangu yezi niruhusu nirudi niambie huyo mtu pole, you know. So like you bring an issue to the table and you're like, okay, so 1 2 3 is happening and I need you to help me with this, you know. And the other partner is like, nilikwambia, so kishout, nilikwambia pia unapandisha sauti, I told you hapana, then mna end up mmekosana, or you badly hit each other. Akigonga pia unagonga, you know, you don't want to lower down. So like people who are egocentric never survive in such things, kwa sababu kiburi does not allow you to do some things. Unasikianga mimi hiyo kiburi yangu haiwezi shuka ikakuja ku lower down to this person ati niambie nifanye 1 2 3, you know. Kiburi yangu haiwezi niambia nirudi niambie mtu sorry. So like egocentric people do inaleta anger issues.
For many youths that are watching us live, what is your and of course they're into a relationship, they are in the moment you love, what is your advice to them as far as if you notice this is a sign or this is a warning and this is a red flag? What are you supposed to do? You know, you are 19, the guy is 25, probably amekushinda na nguvu. What are you supposed to do as in that particular relationship?
First things first, you can't date a 25-year-old guy when you're 19. That's really tricky, according to me. That person will be treating you like, you know, you're both matured in some way. Alafu, they'll expect some things from you that where you won't be ready to do, you know. So just go for people who are your age. And to some point, I don't agree with people dating to some point because to some point because alafu tena, you know, most girls, let me speak on the point of view from girls. Wasichana wengi mtu aliswear solemnly akajiambia that me, I'll never ever get into a relationship and, you know, lose my virginity when I'm that young. Unaona, but ukiingia siku hizi the relationships unaingia unachezewa kama fuliza and story inaisha tu hivyo, like you go like a forgotten story, you know, you're a dead case to that person. So msichana ameswear, then anakuja anajipata alimes, then anaanza kulia and she's like, aki nilikuwa nimeswear I'll never do that thing, you know, and that person never appreciates whatever you do. So just go for people who are your age, and if there's no point of you guys dating, why should you date? Just be single. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost a dime. Ukikuwa single, excuse me. It
doesn't. Wale wanawake ambao hawajapata mtu.
Aki, I support them so much because like umejingisha kwa relationship, unaumia kichwa, unakufa. I was in another group, then wasichana walikuwa wanakuja wananiuliza, you know, I was a mentor somewhere. So like msichana anakuja anakuuliza, what should I do because I messed up? You know, and you're like, okay, how long has it been since you messed up? Then do this and this. Lakini wakirudi kwa group, mtu ametukanwa, ametuma hadi screenshot, ametukanwa but ako tu hapo, ameshikililia, and you're like, okay, you had the chance to move because that guy insulted you. Why didn't you go away, you know? So there's no point of you dating if you're benefiting from nothing, like totally haupati anything. Uko tu hapo hivyo just because you want to clout chase, you want comfort, which is nonsense to me. You can comfort yourself with music and friends and stories and watching.
Tatiana, from the view of, you mentioned something from the text now. I'd like now you to make an understanding, a clear understanding on the view of dating from the text it mentioned. What is the best text even as we close this conversation?
The best text on dating, like the age or something?
Yeah, sure.
So the age, I say that it depends on the maturity. First things first. So the age doesn't matter, but I don't support young kids or teenagers or people below, tunawaita aje, wanaingia kwa anzeni kudate the time that is right. Because, you know, according to the Bible, by the way, one thing we always forget, there's something called fornication. And, you know, you'll fornicate because you guys are dating. So just sit down and ask yourself, am I ready for this? Do I know what I'm going into? Am I matured enough to handle the issues that are going to come out of that relationship? Will I be able to face the consequences? Will I be able to stand the wrath and the storms that come? Then if you're ready to, if you've answered all the questions, ujacha hata moja nje, then you can go ahead and date. Lakini kama umeangalia ukasema, I can be childish at some point, I'm not matured enough, tulia. Relationships don't run. They're just there, utazipata.
Right. Thank you so much. I think a conversation on red flags in relationship and relationship matters cannot come to a close, because it's a developing each and every time thing that we, of course, need to speak about it more often, so we create an understanding to the society and help our youths navigate and, of course, see a process on how they can at least ensure that their love or their lifestyle in love and relationship is taken into consideration. Dante, that is King Dante Max, says red flags watching from you, and thank you so much. That is United Dumboini. Of course, thank you so much for joining live, and all the people that have joined live, we really appreciate. Of course, this is a conversation on red flags in relationship. If you are maybe challenged on this particular relationship matters, make sure you get a comment. Of course, use the number that is on your screens, of course, just to make a shout out and you receive some help in regards to your relationship. We are live on the Morning Drift, and of course that is where we close that particular moment. I suppose you can share your greetings as we wind up this session. Salimia to watu wawili.
Where's the main camera?
You use this one.
Hello guys, I'm Tatiana Nomani, and I hope all of you are doing well. So as you want to endeavor and get into relationships, just sit down and ask yourself questions, and if you're fit for it, then go for it. But remember, the Bible also talks about relationships, so it's better you seek advice from older people, and be free to speak to your parents. They might help in one way or another. Yeah. All
right. Thank you so much for staying tuned from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We have made it happen right here on the Morning Drift on a Thursday. Of course, we are delightful to have it on a throwback. Remember, tomorrow, Entertainment Friday, will be live right here on the Morning Drift. Stay tuned till the end of time. My name is Moses Okech. See you tomorrow on the